Welcome to April's Garage. There were two very fancy European car auctions last week. Yes, put your pinky fingers way up. One of them was in the Switzerland. No, that doesn't. That's like the American version of trying to be fancy, right? That's Kansas Hilby. Please don't do that. It's terrible. In Switzerland, one of them was held at the Beaumont Abbey. Ooh. Chateau Abbey, whatever it's called. It's very fancy. We would be invited. Like Downton Abbey? Like Downton Abbey, which is a wonderful show.
Well, that show, everything goes wrong, so it's very appropriate because at Downton Abbey, nothing can go right for those people. I couldn't watch that show because it's just like, why can't something good happen ever? Like
this audience has never seen it. They probably never even heard of it. It's just like the chick show that I make him watch.
No, I watched some of it, but like once that dude died in the car wreck, I'm like, can something good happen? I gave up because I was like, I don't want to watch something to be stressed and depressed all the time.
Your Hoovie's Garage videos. It is just train wreck after train wreck of bad things happening.
But it's funny. It's not like people dying. It's like this car's terrible. It's very different.
Let's talk about the auction.
The auction was Bonhams, and they had it at this fancy place in Switzerland, and it was a dud.
It was a dismal disaster. Perhaps a lot of cars had reserves on them.
Most of them, yes.
They didn't meet the reserve.
Most of the cars didn't meet reserve, and it was rough. Yeah. So it'd be a pretty boring auction to sit through, and you know, you're in this beautiful place, and you go see all these cars, and then none of them sell. It's not, you know, Barry Jackson, everything's no reserve, it could sell no matter what.
Right.
So this was rough, but. Yeah, we can talk about the cars, I guess. There's mostly talking about what didn't sell because they're very amazing cars, but they didn't even come close to their reserves or their estimates that Bonhams would put out publicly. Basically, what they put on the car card, say they expect it to sell for $1 million to $1.5 million, and the car only gets bid to $500,000. It was like that. It was that rough.
Sometimes it goes over what their estimate is, but this particular one,
and usually estimates can be a little inflated.
Right.
You know, like they're exaggerating a little bit, but. This was way off.
Do you feel like because the tariffs are coming, people are trying to kind of move these high value cars around right now before the tariffs like fully kick in?
I'm not sure. Seemed like normal amount of cars. They do several a year, but yeah, something has people in Europe skittish and not wanting to buy big cars. But they are wanting to buy go-karts apparently.
You told me this was a go-kart, and I did not believe you because it looks gorgeous. All the details are there in the car.
Yeah, it looks like a vintage Testarossa 250 race car, but it's a 2022. It's a go-kart. What do you think? What would you pay for a go-kart?
What would I'm like $1,000.
It's $106,000 for a go-kart. I mean, it looks like a Ferrari. It's built like a Ferrari. It's very high quality, about $106,000. So that's sold. So there's money in the room to buy kids go-karts for $106,000, but not to buy, say,
what?
I know, like an Aston Martin Valkyrie, which is, you know, crazy machine.
Right.
Aston Martin trying to like build this halo car that everybody talks about, you know, and it is really cool. And this one's delivered new to Formula One racing champion Nico Rosberg.
Right, that's why you got the 6 on there. That was his number.
Yes. Yeah. So they estimated this one to be between 3.6 million and 4.034 million. And it didn't meet their reserve, $2.7 million.
Okay, so how big of a deal is it? Because I remember Shmi talking about driving this and the startup process.
Oh, right.
And if you go out of order, it won't function and you kind of bring it back to the mechanics to kind of reset it.
It's a big problem. The cars don't really work all that well. They don't do the car thing all that well.
Yeah.
You know, getting and going places.
They're pretty.
And if the battery ever
nice
goes
to
dead,
look at.
Yeah, you're smoked. So almost $1 million off of its estimate.
Yeah.
Almost a third off of its estimate. Didn't even come close. So that is a big swing and a miss. This one's close to my heart. 2010 Ferrari 599 GTO. So
gorgeous baby.
They brought back the GTO name with the 599 for the first time in a very long time. With this, only 599 were built. So it's worth considerably more than mine. They estimate $1.1 to $1.2 million.
Yes.
But the high bid was $766.
Oh,
so once again,
rough.
we're like more than 30% off of estimates.
Can I just read you how nicely they talk about these cars? Styled by Pininfarina, the 599, with its long bonnet, small cabin, raised haunches, and aggressive stance seems the very epitome of the term sports car. Like, that is sexy.
They're describing my hoopty. Yes, but I have the hoopty version of it, not a GTO. So it's interesting how the special variants can bring so much more.
Right.
And yeah, 671 horsepower to the Enzo-based V12. So That one didn't do it, didn't cut the mustard. How about a 2021 Ford GT Carbon Series?
Okay.
Pretty standard. They're worth around $1 million, and that's what they said. The estimate's $987 to $1,050,000. $741,000.
But do you feel like that kind of generation of that Ford GT is plateaued and coming down a little bit?
At Barrett Jackson, we have never seen any Ford GT of that generation come even close to that. Like they're
Right.
still $800,000 and above for normal ones, and this one was a Carbon Series, which
Right.
usually brings a couple $100,000 more. So something going on in
Sure.
Europe at this sale where the room was off. Somebody.
I mean, it could be so many different things. So maybe like their advertising was off and they didn't get the word out to people. Like,
Well,
we're not
it's
sure.
on 4th of July, so now the Americans showed up, or somebody in the room farted and they left, so like something happened. But 1964 Aston Martin DB5, so the James Bond special, very James Bond-esque.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I
Yes.
love this. This is the best one out of
I
the
would
whole
love
series.
to have one of these. I just prefer DB6 because it's a little bit roomier and not as expensive. This one's right-hand drive, so they don't bring as much from the right-hand drive. But still, their estimate, $918,000 to $987,000. A high bid, $618,000.
Oh, rough. That's a good time to buy it. Like, if
They
you
won't
want
sell
to
it.
get it. Oh, that's true.
It didn't need reserved. So they're like, nope, I'm not letting it go for that. No, screw you. I'm not selling it. So that's what happened.
That's a gorgeous car. And the new James Bond, like that they're on a search for who it's going to be. And there could be a resurgence of these cars and the value of them because of that. I don't know. But it's just so sexy. And I can't believe it didn't sell.
Yeah, well, so it makes no sense. This one really doesn't make any sense unless things are just so off in Europe. So 2013 Lamborghini Aventador. So the first year was 2012. Those things are a little off, but usually still a $250,000 and up car. Maybe $220 if it's had accident history and miles on it.
Right.
This one, none of that. It's a 2013, so it's the second year. Kilometers a little higher, 38,000, so 27,000 miles, a little bit miles on it. But their estimates, 327 to 383, which is
Right.
pretty close to probably what the American value is. This one high bid $210,000, which I think Freddie might have paid more for his with like a blown engine and salvage title and missing its body panels. Like this is not that. Like what happened?
What's going on?
$218,000. Even in the lows of these
Yeah.
before COVID, there's never one that got that low in the 200s. So
No.
very, very odd. It's just
Does it make you nervous?
I just don't. This one sale, something seemed weird. But there were two big sales.
Okay.
They had one. If they didn't have this, you could call it a total and absolute dud. So blue chip collectible Ferrari 275 GTB 4 cam.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, V12. I mean, amazing machine. This is the one that Nicolas Cage was talking about in Gone in 60 Seconds, where
Yeah.
a self-indulgent wiener buys a new Ferrari, but if you're a connoisseur, you buy this.
And it
and,
did sell.
This one did sell, and it sold for a lot of money. Sold for $3,480,000.
What was the estimate?
It doesn't have the estimate. When they
Okay.
sell, they get rid of the estimates,
Right.
but that's a lot of money. That's on the money and a lot of money. But these are people fight over these things because
Yeah.
there's only so many, and it's one of the best looking Ferraris
It's
ever,
gorgeous.
and an amazing. I got to drive one. It's one of the most amazing driving experiences of my life. So it's
Is
the
it what
best of
made
both.
it so incredible? Because you've driven like thousands of cars.
Well,
to say this was one of the most incredible driving experiences of your life.
That front engine V12
Mm-hmm.
sounds so good. Great. It feels like a modern car as far as the performance, but it has that gated,
Mm-hmm.
buttery smooth gated manual transmission. So it just so far ahead of its time as far as the just the way it feels.
Right.
But then look at it. I mean, it's crazy.
It's gorgeous.
So big one, and the Ferrari was the other big one. 2022 812. And these just went out of production. So this one is the one that people like, kind of the targa top folds back, and it is really
Oh,
neat.
yeah. And it actually, you can do it, I think you can go up to 28 miles an hour and it'll still fold back electronically all by itself in like 14 seconds, which is so nice. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, basically brand new, 170 kilometers on it, and they estimated this one to be 639 to 780. So I have estimate on this one, even though it sold. They didn't have it on the other Ferrari. But,
Yeah.
so this one sold below its estimate, but not dramatically below. So it sold for 568.
below its estimate. So,
but enough
guess
to
the
where it's met the reserve. So
do you think the owner could have, or the consignor could have been there and said, "Okay, I'm going to let it go"?
well, usually on the low estimate, usually what I see, if it's within 10 or 15% of the low estimate, they usually let it go because
Yeah.
the estimates can be a little exaggerated.
Right.
I mean, sometimes, and also they have to account for the 10 to 15% buyer's premium, all that stuff. So that one, it's yes, below the estimate, but not dramatically below, and they cut it loose, which is interesting because these things were very expensive. I still feel like that's a big number,
Right.
but it makes me wonder. They quit making these. They've moved on to different, like the 12 cylindric and all that stuff, and they're more expensive. And I wonder if people are already thinking, man, I really like the 812 better than anything that Ferrari's making now.
Right.
Like I don't, like they're just not into it, you know?
Right. And so then the values of these, what do you think is going to happen with them?
I mean, obviously, I think they'll depreciate quite a bit, but at least with this one, it was their second biggest sale.
Sure.
After all of those duds, that were supposed to be millions of dollars, they didn't make it. So, that was Bonhams. So RM had their own auction in England as well at another fancy. It looks a lot more like Downton Abbey. This Cliveden House.
Cliveden.
It just ended yesterday, July 8th. So, and their sale went quite a bit better. There were a few misses.
Gorgeous.
A 1964 Ferrari 250 GT, which Ferrari 250 anything usually is crazy. They estimated this one $1.3 to $1.8 million, and it barely brought $1 million, the bid. So
Right.
way off their estimate.
Right.
Way
That's
off.
a gorgeous car.
Another big miss. The older brass era cars, they've been falling, but
I feel like they've been falling for the past 10 years, and I don't know if they'll
Right.
ever come back up.
so they estimated this 1912 Rolls-Royce 40, 50 horsepower. They estimated it to be 727 to 880, and it brought 511. So not good. Well, and it didn't sell. So that was sort of a miss. But
Look at the
yeah.
inside. Look at the couch in the back, and you have this like checkerboard trim on it. And those pillows have to be original. Like the two little flasks in the window.
Yes.
And there's this like.
Well, you put like smelling scents in there to
Oh, really?
mask the
what is
nasty smells of the outside because people were peeing in the streets back in 1912. You know.
Setup, is that a real
Yes,
thing?
uh-huh.
What is this like prayer bar? Like this like little bar down at the
footrest,
bottom. But
yeah.
like really you need a footrest? Were people shorter back
Absolutely,
then? Maybe
yes.
so they needed a
Put
footrest.
your feet up, or you got your big dress, and you got to kind of be in the birthing position for it, right? To get in with your dress, the
Yeah, the birthing position.
yes,
That's good.
for the
Good.
Gilded Age, as you like that show, so it's much in your era. But they had some big sales. So they did okay. A 1973 Ferrari 365, $543,000, still below estimate. 696 to 850 was the estimate, but enough to sell at 543.
So pretty.
Yeah, beautiful car. 63 Maserati, 3500 GTI Spider. They estimated this one between 620 and 696, and it sold for $589,000.
Gorgeous.
So once again, below its estimate, but not dramatically below. I saved my favorite two for last.
Okay.
1958 300 SL Roadster.
Not in the original color that it was born in.
Right, but I still very much like the color. Beautiful, beautiful machine. And they estimated 1 million to 1.3. This one sold for 896.
Wait, is that a good thing? Because like you have your heart set on kind of this direction for a purchase one day.
I want a Gullwing. I want a Gullwing so bad. I would
Right.
sell for a Roadster, but I really want to hold out for a Gullwing. But
Which you should.
that's about half price of a Gullwing at this point
Yeah.
for a Roadster. And oof,
Do
it's
you
so
think that
pretty.
that is going to bring the values down of the Gullwings? Like, is it going to bring everyone down a
I
little
don't know.
bit?
It's so weird right now. It's so all over the place. We had the one at Barrett Jackson that sold for $3.5 million.
Yeah.
And then the next year, another one sells for 1.4.
Yeah.
And they're both nice restorations. I mean, that one that's 3.5 had a fresh restoration,
Right.
but same car, not any
Sure.
special variant or any of that kind of stuff. $2 million difference.
Right.
And so they're all over the place. It's wackadoodle. But the Bugatti, they had one, a 1929 Bugatti.
So I was reading about this, and this is like the first one that's actually comfortable for regular people to drive. And
Versus,
that's what
like, the
makes
race
it
cars?
special. Well, they would make them like road cars, but for race car drivers, which they were still very powerful and tricky to drive. And this one's supposed to be the comfortable, easy easy to drive
Right.
version of them.
Well, we talked about 15, 20 or so cars not meeting their estimates, most of them not selling, some selling. This is the one that went over its estimate.
Oh,
So they
cool.
estimated 235,000, 313,000. It sold for $428,000.
That would be so fun to watch, go back and forth, and who wants it. Like, I love when they're in the room and you can see them. Sometimes they're on the phone, but that would be fun to watch sell because it's such an old car too. So who is wanting this? Because you keep this in like a museum, right?
Well, it's Bugatti owners, Bugatti collectors, and they're strong on Bugattis. So
Yeah.
the Bugatti market is strong and going up millions of dollars in Veyrons and Chirons, I heard. I think. Yes.
Oh, that was a good laugh. Thanks so much for watching. No, they are. They really are.
You need to work on your poker face. Like this is the pump and dump that Ed Bullion's working on with me. Like, come on.
Veyrons to the moon. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay.